If you want to be successful, you have to stop watching IPL. The day IPL stadiums go half empty is the day India becomes truly developed. Why do you care so much about a team that doesn't even represent you? When entertainment becomes emotion, you are bound to fail. I am not obsessed with cricket and I am not afraid to say it out loud. If you are busy watching IPL every night, you are ignoring the real issues. I am not saying IPL is bad, but let's break this logically. Watch till the end to know the full story. Welcome to my first ever podcast. Nowadays, everybody is making podcasts. So, what's different about this one? Well, you will know one thing. This is more logical and more factual. Plus, I won't only be asking the questions. What we are gonna do is two buddies discussing with each other. Rana here is my close friend and my cricket mentor. We have worked together for multiple years and he is a very experienced cricket player. Rana is very passionate about cricket. He was inspired by the 1999 Cricket World Cup and from then on he has been playing continuously. I can assure you he is definitely more knowledgeable than me on cricket. He has been participating in college tournaments, in corporate events, and many games. His favorite cricketers are Saurav Ganguly, Virat Kohli, and MS Dhoni. As for me, I have been playing cricket from my childhood days also. But back then, it was more like spending time with friends. But after I started talking to Rana and playing with him, I started realizing the delicacies that are there in this game. That's why I proudly call him my proper cricket mentor. Let me be very clear. I don't hate cricket. In fact, I love playing cricket and all other kind of sports. But it is important to ask the right questions and look at IPL in a logical perspective. It will help reveal stuff that usually goes unnoticed so that you understand what is happening with you, which will ultimately help you grow as much as possible. IPL is not just a cricket tournament, it's a business empire. Today, you will understand not cricket but ownership. Let's break IPL from the top: league, franchisees, owners, and who has the real power. So, Rana, what exactly is IPL?
So IPL, as you most probably would know, is stands for Indian Premier League, and it's a
Yes.
multi-city, I would say, cricket tournament.
Not city. Rajasthan Royals is state, but
I mean,
RCB is Bangalore.
correct. I mean, you can say it's more region-wise, and it has been running successfully for around 18 years, and it's one of the places where you would say that entertainment and sports has combined together, right? And
In my perspective, I think it's a huge business empire also.
correct, very
Crores of rupees are generated
correct.
from every match.
Correct. It's a massive, I would say, growth engine in a way.
Exactly. As of my knowledge, BCCI is the one who owns IPL. I mean the league.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, own, I would not say, but maybe govern. It does govern IPL and it hosts the tournaments. So the process exactly is it decides on which regions specifically it wants to, have teams for. Basically, shortlists the different cities which people are interested in, or not people are
Maybe
interested.
based on branding and marketing they decide.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's states, sometimes it's cities.
Yeah, primarily it represents a city, but it can also have a regional identity. Like,
Okay.
primarily they would propose the name as Jaipur, but the name of the team can be Rajasthan Royals. Like,
Yes.
Ahmedabad is the city, but because the home ground is Ahmedabad, right, where the matches are taking place for Gujarat Titans, but the team name can be Gujarat Titans. As far as I know, they propose the names of cities where possibly each city can have a team, and these cities are from different states. Generally, a particular state doesn't have two teams, except I would say Maharashtra, which had Pune Warriors India and Mumbai
That was
Indians
there
also.
for a while.
Yeah. So now what happens is the companies who are interested would express interest which teams they would like to maybe bid for.
Okay.
And
So in a more formal term, so BCCI basically opens franchises, which we know as teams, right? Now, companies, conglomerates, group of people who have lot of money, now they bid for these franchises and they pay certain amount to BCCI to own these teams for 10 years, then some percentage after 10 years. That money is huge, by the way. I think it's somewhere around 12,000 to 16,000 crore for 10 years. That's huge.
Yeah, this is when you were speaking with respect to the 2021 bidding which happened for Ahmedabad.
You are saying the recent valuation can be even more.
I mean, yeah, the recent value can be even more. And if you look at the 2007 when the teams were bid, the initial IPL
that must be a bit lesser.
Yeah, that must be very less.
BCCI is the governing body, as you said, right? And they control all the, say, rights, the franchisee rights, the advertisement rights, etc. For them also, it's a revenue source. When they are giving franchisee, they are getting money from these companies that are there.
Correct.
Right. Now, coming to the team players, like, can you tell me who either owns the team player or what exactly is the scene?
So basically what happens is when this bidding for all these players happen, right? So these players register themselves for the auction. Okay. Now the only controllable for a player is basically the base price which they set. Now you can set it at 30 lakh, 50 lakh, 2 crores. I mean, there are slabs. So you have to put yourself in all those slabs. Okay. Right. So that is the minimum amount which you are guaranteed to get if you are selected in any of the teams.
Okay.
Yeah. Post that, whatever bidding happens, your price obviously will rise and teams bid for you.
Okay, somebody bids and you get the auction money.
Correct.
For example, let's say 20 crore rupees. Right? So who gets that money?
So it goes to the player only. That goes to the player only. Obviously, you deduct the taxes. It is paid by the team owners.
Okay, so on the top you have BCCI, then you have the companies or the corporates who owns the franchise, and finally part of the teams is the players who are there. One thing that is very clear is the teams or the franchisees don't really represent the people. I mean, if you look at the fact that, okay, Chennai Super Kings, Dhoni is part of it, but Dhoni is not from Tamil Nadu or Chennai, right? So it is very important for everyone to understand that a location, a region is just a branding tactics. For example, say RCB you take. So I have seen a lot of craze, and last year, I mean, Stampede and stuff also happened because RCB won. Yeah. But if you think about it, in RCB, there are, I think, few Karnataka people, but not many. Majority of the people are from outside the state and from outside the country also. So it's important to acknowledge this fact, right? So if you are being a fan, be a fan for the skill or the entertainment that you are getting. Don't connect it with a regional identity. I mean, it's just a branding tactic. What do you think?
I mean, people can identify themselves with a lot of things, right? Yes. And originally, if you think in 2008 when the teams were formed, they actually made attempts to have the local players as marquee players. Like Yuvraj was the marquee player for Punjab, Sachin was for Mumbai, Saurabh was for Kolkata and others like that, right? Marquee players generally were paid better than the people who were entering the auction pool. Okay. And they were icons of their own cities. If you say, even previous Lakshman was there for Hyderabad.
But that didn't work out.
I mean, that's how they started the regional identity thing, right? And they tried to actually get local players as much as possible in the teams in the beginning, right? Another aspect is who owns the teams. That's where also one more of that regional thing comes, right? Now, all these teams are not owned by companies which are actually based out of that place, right?
Like, I mean, first of all, it's not owned by any state or any. Correct. So government is not at all involved. Correct. It's a business. It's a corporate thing.
Okay, so let's look at RCB. RCB was owned by United Breweries. It was based out of Karnataka. Yes. Right? So that way there was a regional owner also.
But now the ownership has changed to Aditya Birla Group, Times Group, Blackstone, etc.
Correct.
From March.
Correct. But initially, I mean, again, it's not necessary that a owner might be from a region, particular region. But if the owner is from a region, that also
it's like adding better branding to the.
Correct.
Maybe they started with this idea, but as they see the more money is somewhere else, and they kind of move towards making it a business-oriented thing.
It is a business-oriented thing. Yes. Also, it is not just the regional pride. Like I am also a supporter of RCB.
Yes.
But I am not from Karnataka. However, I have two reasons why I support RCB. One is because I work in Bangalore. The primary reason is because I am a Virat Kohli fan. So even players also have their own
fan base and cult following.
Correct. So people follow CSK because they love Dhoni.
In the auction also, it is a strategy, right? So when they take someone, they also get the fan base of that particular player.
Correct, correct.
Now, because social media has boomed this much, every person has their own fan base.
Correct.
So what the strategies are like, they choose players like that so that they also get that set of fan added to their team.
Correct. Regional identity, while it is true to some or maybe a lot of fans, maybe, but a lot of states don't have their IPL teams, right?
Yes,
like
yes.
I come from Assam, there is no team.
I mean, states don't have teams at all. Like
I mean, I'm just okay. Maybe I rephrase it that way. Maybe regions have, or whatever, the cities or regions, they have their teams, but a lot of places don't have their teams. So they inevitably support the team which has their favorite players and stuff like that, right?
So hypothetically speaking, if I want to create a team called Mysore Challengers, right, and pit them against RCB, what would be the procedure and how do I do it?
So I mean, you would not be able to do it directly. So the first thing is it has to come from BCCI. So first BCCI should feel that there is a need of an additional team. Or it might be that the existing fan base of some team is
not enough to satisfy.
The craze.
Basically, as a business, you cater to all the
you need to see the feasibility. You need to have a good fan base and stuff like that. So after that, BCCI will think whether that place, if I put a team from that place, will it actually make sense business wise, right? So after that, you also as a business entity need to have certain qualifications to actually send your bids for that team, right?
Including the amount of money I need
to. I mean, it's not just your capability to bid. Capability in the sense, it's just not your amount.
It's also like if you have the capability to manage such a team.
As a company, you need to fulfill certain criteria also. It's just not that you have 4,000 crore in your bank account and you can buy the team. No, you need to have this much revenue.
BCCI also has certain eligibility criteria, and not only money, you also need to satisfy that, and then you bid. If you win the bid, then the team is yours.
Yeah, you can also, if you want to compare it in normal layman terms, maybe you can also think it of like you're taking a loan from a bank. So bank will check whether you have the ability to repay, because this payment is happening over across 10 years, right? So if you're bidding for this much money, it should not suddenly you are not able to pay and the team is going to
you should not be a defaulter.
So all of these things also matter.
So Rana, as I know, BCCI is also not a government body. I mean, it's registered as a non-profit society or something. The only reason, as much as my understanding, that it represents India in the international cricket is because ICC, which is the international body, recognizes BCCI as the controlling body for cricket in the Indian region. What do you think? But the perspective in the country, what is going on is, Team India and all.
I mean, you're very right. It's not exactly a government-owned body. They don't, as far as I know, they don't pay taxes also.
Because non-profit society.
They're non-profit society. And the other thing is that this is not technically, because it is not owned by the government, it's not an Indian team, it's a BCCI team, I would say that way. Right? But it has become synonymous, as you said, because ICC has recognized BCCI as the representative for Indian cricket, and that's why there are a lot of regulations, or you would say, which are actually applied to like the other sports governing bodies. There are a lot more policies in place if it is controlled by the government.
But one thing you have to understand, I mean, in a way, it's good that BCCI is private. That's why we are really good at cricket. If you make it government,
that's a good side of it.
Maybe we'll slow down.
That's a good side, because it is commercially so successful. I mean, it's a very good career opportunity for people who are coming from very poor backgrounds, right?
Hypothetically speaking, Rana, if I want to replace BCCI to represent Indian cricket by another body or something like that, is it possible? Like, if so, how do I do it?
I mean, that's extremely difficult, right?
Fantasizing, by the way.
I mean, whatever, but it's very difficult. It's like there is a monopoly, right? They are there at the grassroots level. They have established themselves throughout, right? And also the thing is, they have a lot of money power. Right? So if you want to start a parallel body, So there are a lot of aspects that you need to cover up for. One thing is that the ICC has to recognize you, right? Yeah, and you need to also be able to attract the players, right? Just you might have heard about ICL, right? Indian Cricket League, which was also sort of a parallel cricket. I don't know if it's right to say parallel cricket body, but there are a lot of Indian players like Ambati Rayudu, Stuart Binnie, who actually played for ICL, and later it was closed
because it was not as successful.
I need to see the reasons for that. Technically, I cannot say what exactly led to that. But
Practically, if I say, maybe I cannot replace BCCI, but I can definitely start my own cricket league, right?
you,
I mean,
you can, but it may not get easily recognized. That's the thing. There's also a lot of things on legal aspects like the transparency of what you are doing, right? I mean, there are Lodha committee recommendation and stuff like that. Which Supreme Court had suggested to bring much more transparency into the process. But a lot of these are not implemented. So there are challenges. There are a lot of legal, there are a lot of monetary challenges. And
I mean, from the angle of monetary, what I know is BCCI pays a huge amount. Like the contribution of BCCI is, I think, at the top to ICC, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
why
around.
Would ICC also want BCCI to be replaced?
Yeah, it's a very huge revenue generator for the ICC. And it is actually, if you see from that perspective, India, ICC pays around 38 to 40% something revenue to India. I mean, to BCCI for all the revenue it generates. But I think BCCI gives much more revenue in that sense because the maximum.
ICC pays BCCI.
Yeah.
So whatever be opposite.
Like, no. So what happens is for all the ICC tournaments which are organized, they get a share of. I mean, ICC tournaments means like T20 World Cup, ICC Cricket World Cup, World Test Championship.
Right? ICC generates the revenue and they get a share of.
Yeah, they get a share of that revenue. India gets the highest. But you also have to understand India also generates that much because because of the fans throughout.
So practically speaking, I mean, it is impossible, almost near to impossible to replace BCCI. But considering that I have the mindset and goal, maybe I work for 50, 100 years, build a big league, and then maybe I would be able to challenge BCCI to some extent. I mean, it is practically near to impossible.
Theoretically, yes, it is possible, but yeah, practically it's very, very far.
Yes. I mean, another thing is, of course, because it is registered in India, right, as a non-profit society or whatever, right? I mean, if some legal issues or maybe some government policies change, that might not really happen because for India also having BCCI is a good thing, right? So that also might not happen, but that is also way per se.
You are saying if there is a lot of government intervention in BCCI operations?
I mean, let's say Supreme Court gives some kind of restructuring instruction or stuff.
Yeah, that's what the Lodha committee recommendations were. But they didn't actually implement a lot of them. They just cherry picked some of.
Ultimately, it's about interest, right? I mean, the best interest for both BCCI folks and people who are at much high level, whose names we might not know, are getting money in their pocket, right?
I mean, all of these things, like you were saying, government intervention and stuff, also depends on how much government intervention indirectly is there in the BCCI. If there is some government intervention indirectly, government directly may not intervene in the operation because it also affects the politicians that way.
Yes.
That's my point.
What you see is what being sold, but what you don't see makes the money. While you are watching cricket, someone else is making money. And no, I am not talking about the players. The biggest winners are behind the scenes. Who is actually earning money through these games? Because people invest a lot of their times. I actually have some statistics with me, Rana. So, the early league matches, so per match, the revenue generates is 130 to 150 crore. Now, as it goes to big rivalry matches, so those are like 180 to 250 crore rupees per match. And finals generates around 300 to 400 plus crores in the match. Right? So what do you think are the main sources of these revenues?
So how the structure actually works is we had BCCI, right? And then BCCI actually floats tenders, I mean, for the team ownership. So the companies pay to BCCI for owning these teams over a period of 10 years. BCCI also earns money through advertisements and ticket sales and stuff like that, right?
And all
they sell. Now let's come to the next level, which is your companies, right? They get a share of the profit from BCCI, right? And then they're also getting some revenue from the ticket sales also. If the match is in their home ground, Based on that also they get a revenue. Also they sell their merchandise and stuff like that, right? That they also get. Yeah,
but also the ground staff, right? The cameraman, the analyst, and people like these. I mean, they're also part of the structure.
So
somewhere they're also
correct. So anybody who is part of the BCCI ecosystem is earning. You can also say the cheerleaders. You can say umpires also.
Yes.
Support staff which the teams have. So a lot of these.
But one difference I can clearly see is the pay is very unequal, right? If you think how much a ground staff earns versus how much a company generates in revenue, and again, and that goes through shares and stuff like that, versus how much a player earns. I mean, there's a huge difference. So even if the revenue is very high, I mean, you can say that the distribution is unequal. I mean, that also makes sense. That's obviously there.
You can also say it this way that BCCI is taking the bigger risk when it comes to launching these leagues. If they are not successful, they also might be losing money. I don't know if BCCI is losing money is the right word, or maybe the franchisee owners are losing money, right?
I think it will be the franchisee owners.
Franchisee owners will be losing.
BCCI definitely will have put a fixed number already. Right?
Correct. BCCI is directly selling.
So the people who are at risk is actually, I mean, you cannot say risk because anyway, these are big conglomerates, right? I mean, they have a huge money already. I mean, even if they lose a few crores or rupees, it really doesn't matter to them. I mean, it's more about, it's also about branding, right? I mean, if you are owning a team, right, and you are branding this year it is Tata IPL. So Tata doesn't own IPL, but it is the title partner.
Correct.
Right. So everybody who is watching IPL, I mean, throughout India is seeing Tata. Correct. And they're buying the products.
So the Tata will take it as an advertising cost, marketing cost.
Exactly.
For them. Right. Yeah.
But again, marketing cost, how much they get back, I mean, that is something of a different calculation.
That is a return on ad spend or whatever business metric
they have, but they are such a company now that they can manage.
That's a business calculation.
So from the top of the pyramid to down of the pyramid, I mean, I've just listed the names. So at the top level, it is BCCI, the biggest winner of the entire thing. Yeah. Then comes the franchisee owners, right? Basically the team owners. Then the broadcasters and streaming platforms like Jio Hotstar. That is very important because not everybody goes to the stadium. Correct. Then the sponsors and the brands. Then players, and players are actually the most visible earners. Correct. And then the content creator and influencer like me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of videos are made for post.
But I'm not gonna earn money from this video, that's for sure. And finally, I mean, at the lowest level of the pyramid is the ground level workers. So this is the 7 levels that is there.
Now let's come to the fan angle. Now for you and me, okay, as a normal person, we are paying what subscription fees for
Jio
Hotstar. People who are very rich, they will go and see the match. The tickets are pretty expensive. So yeah, I mean that is one way which you are paying. Other than that, you are also seeing ads. Ad revenue that comes to either the teams or to BCCI. Plus, we indirectly seeing the ad indirectly purchasing is good for the company who is showing the ad. Correct. What other sources can there be? So travel and tourism. This is also places. Correct. This is a very good angle.
People also
a lot of people travel for tickets.
Food, beverages. That is also in the stadium that you are there.
Correct.
Indirectly, it is also affecting the economy. Okay, we at the end user, we are spending. That's for sure.
That is for
us, the money is being generated. India doesn't just love cricket. India is obsessed with it. And this obsession comes at a cost. Time, attention, and priorities. The real question is not whether cricket is good or bad. It is whether we are consuming too much of it. So, Rada, are Indians focusing too much on cricket? Like excessive?
Well, this is true to some extent, but it may not have been the case if you look back, before 1983. That was a pivotal moment when Kapil Dev, lifted the World Cup. So post that, the investments have increased and people have also started looking at it like a career opportunity. So now when you speak of investment of time, yes, that is there. Right, because there is a lot of business ecosystem that has been built around it. So people are getting invested, right, because of that. If you compare this with other sports, obviously this is the major attraction when it comes. There is also craze when, like, for example, if you compare it with India winning the gold medal in javelin, right? Neeraj Chopra did it. So people.
But still, javelin doesn't have that much craze. See, it started from 1700s. Like cricket was introduced by Britishers in that time, and then it started slowly growing inside our country. Now, every gully, every nukkad, if you see, there are some or other people playing cricket. So why people are over invested? See, one thing I can clearly see is in 2026, social media is everywhere. Somebody does something extraordinary, it immediately becomes viral, and people try to relate that with themselves. In terms of, say, Dhoni's origin story, right? A lot of people kind of relate to that, and he became really big. And see, one thing is we have always have a cultural bias towards worshipping people, right? That is obvious.
Okay.
And when we see these big kind of people coming into picture, first of all, we kind of start worshipping them, right? Secondly,
Just a point here. So, are you saying that because you get the example of Dhoni, right? Because it was a rags to riches story, is that the reason people? I mean, there is a reason.
that is one of the reasons.
Okay.
Rags to riches is definitely one of the reasons, because people are able to relate. The other reason is what I strongly believe is escapism psychology. So
Okay.
what happens in escapism psychology is, okay, you have real problems with you, right? But cricket is a source of cheap entertainment. You see everywhere you have, starting from reels, memes, all social media you open, it's a very cheap source of investment, and it helps you communicate with strangers also better, right? Because wherever you go, you can share a story of cricket. There will be like one in every 2-3 people, there will be one cricket fan. So you can immediately connect with people. Now the drawback over here is you kind of escape your life and get into cricket, and that's why you are kind of invested in that. That is one of the reasons again.
So I have a few points here. So one, when you are saying that this is a form of escapism, which is true, I agree to that. But isn't if watching a movie for 3 hours or maybe doom scrolling for 2 hours, that is also a form of escapism?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Now the next question is whether it is good or bad. It is bad when you are wasting your time doing some doom scrolling instead of a productive activity.
Exactly.
Is it good also? Sometimes people might need it also. If you think at the end of the day, I have worked hard, I just need something to shut off myself. And that is where movies or sports or things like that fit in.
True.
So there are different aspects of looking at it. Now, some people might be wasting their careers by just watching matches and not studying or not doing the work properly. But some people might look at it from it's an escapism, true.
It is also like the peer pressure, right? Even I remember in my childhood days, playing cricket was part of peer pressure. Sometimes I liked it, sometimes I didn't like it. I was definitely not good at it. But you are part of a community. Some people are talking about cricket. Definitely in that peer pressure, you want to communicate. So you will try to watch cricket and come back and talk about it then. Right. So that is also one of the reasons I can say. See, one of the reason also we talked about is the location thing. This is the strategy that BCCI as well as all the franchisee owners use knowingly, that if you assign a location, so when you associate yourself to a location or a particular public figure, then what happens is you kind of identify yourself with that person, and that is the reason if they are happy, you are happy. If the team wins, you are really happy. If the team loses, you are angry, you are sad, you are complaining all over the place. So this is classic signs of over investment, and the reason is that only you identify with a location or with a person, that becomes a negative thing, right?
So basically, it's you are identifying yourself with something which maybe you are not, and it also hinders you solving your actual problems or whatever you might have.
You are exploited also by these corporates, right? Ultimately, you are the end user who is paying money.
That's true. Mainly, it's an emotional investment. Like you have RCB fans and diehard CSK fans or Mumbai fans. I mean, these are the main three franchises which have a lot of fan following, right? It's either player, it's either the location. I mean, the regional pride which people have. Why does that come? This is also generalization. People can associate themselves
with
anyone, caste, creed,
or
religion,
anything,
gender, anything, right?
You also talked about that competing sports, right? You see, one classic sign of over investment is that only that only on one sport you are focused this much, whereas other sports are being ignored, right? In India, why is India known, world famous? Forget about Olympics. I mean, still there are many countries who are ahead of in Olympics, right? But in cricket, India is the best, right? Whereas, let's talk about the 2023 World Cup winner, who was Australia, right? Now, in Australia, if you see, cricket is not the only sport.
True.
Right. There are sports like Australian rules football, rugby, soccer. Now, there are multiple sports and cricket is one of them. Let me give you a very powerful fact. In India, the population is 1.42 billion with one sport at the top. Australia, who is still a World Cup winner, only has 27 million population. Multiple sports they play. So this is a clear sign, right, that we are over invested in cricket, because of which even other sports are being ignored.
Correct, but I mean, I still don't understand why is it bad in a way. I'm playing a little devil's advocate here also. Like for example, America is invested in baseball or maybe NFL, you know, and sports like that. It's the highest earning NFL if you see from revenue wise. That India is similar way because it has a bigger fan base. It has that, you know, it is able to dictate terms to ICC, and it's a soft power also that way.
Okay.
But when you are speaking, India is over in, you know, investing, and obviously we are not good at Olympics. We are not getting medals, right? First of all, you have to then define what is the purpose of sports. Then you can answer whether it is good or bad, and whether diversification is better.
As an individual and as a nation, this much obsession with IPL or cricket is definitely not a good thing, because it distracts you from true growth. Yes, again, I am not saying cricket is bad or anything. My entire point of this discussion is we as a country need to grow together, right?
Correct.
So a good mindset definitely helps in growing together. What I notice everywhere, they are not working on themselves, right? So they have real issues in their life. There are political issues also around the world, right? Somebody is coming throwing garbage in front of their house. They are bothered about that, but they are not doing anything. But they're okay to preach RCB to other people, any other team, that too, right? Now, when there are real issues that are at loose, and you diverse yourself to something else, you know, that is where the problem is. Then, as a country, we cannot grow, right? Ultimately, that's
Agreed on that. But isn't it true for anything that is addictive?
absolutely. So that's what I am saying. Cricket has become addiction. When I say overinvestment, it is okay. I remember in my childhood days there were 50 over ODI matches, right? And for the 50 over, people will throw away everything. They will sit down and they will watch for the entire day, because ODI matches go for entire day. I mean, T20 is more addictive than ODI. One of the reason is T20 is short. 3 hours every day, daily habit. For 2-3 months, you are habituated to that evening slot.
Correct.
Imagine in a day, if you in that evening you go 1 hour for workout, how much belly fat people will lose.
True, that's
right?
that.
So that's basically my point. Again, I mean, you can definitely say you are not supporter of all teams, but so you will not watch the matches of every team. But still, if you watch your matches, your team's matches also, there will still be a lot of matches. I mean, that time could have been invested much better in, say, building your life, building a skill. I mean, so many layoffs are happening nowadays. Maybe start applying for other jobs, right? Work on your relationships, work on your fitness.
True.
So that's what is happening nowadays.
So when you said true growth, right? So for me, true growth might be that I just relax 2 hours by watching a match and then handle my problems.
Okay.
That is one way. Okay. Another way of true growth is there are people might have different priorities in life.
Okay.
For some person, cricket might be a higher priority.
Okay.
For some person, maybe working out might be a higher priority. Right? So what is not important in my life depends on what I like or don't like.
Okay.
Got it, na? So I can always say that I am not interested in movies. I won't watch. Instead of that, I'll watch cricket. But some person might not be interested in cricket and they might go and watch a movie. right? So in that sense, you will always have certain parts of your life which might not be useful, and you can replace it with something which is useful.
Okay.
Right? So is cricket the only reason? May not be true, is what I'm saying. But is cricket a reason? Might be true.
But let me tell you a few more things.
Hmm.
Like you said, movies and other things as well. Yeah, somebody might be watching 3 hours movie every day. That is also fine. Still, they are ignoring the important tasks in their life. But why cricket is special? Somewhere it is that middle class grooming that we have gone through from childhood till now. That is where our priorities are also set. What is your priority? Okay, you want to earn money, you want to watch cricket, right? Somebody else's priorities, they want to work on their passion, they want to work on their fitness, right? But where is that priority set exactly? It is how you have been groomed, right? That is one thing. That is the cultural angle I am talking about.
Okay.
Another angle I want to say is cricket uh, invokes a shared belief, right? Not only cricket, take it in terms of IPL also. Like think of like fans of RCB, right? It's a shared belief. They are part of this location, and that creates a sense of unity. And the evolution is like that only. That we prefer community rather than being lonely. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it is wrong. But when this community identity kind of overcomes your individual identity, that's where you stop growing, is what I believe. Apart from cricket, if this much emotion and efforts people show in other areas, India would be a developed country already.
But the thing is that, is cricket operating on something which is unethical or something like that?
No, not
In
at
the
all.
sense, in the sense, what I'm trying to say is, instead of cricket, if some other sport would have followed a similar following, like after India won 1983 World Cup, people started following more cricket. Then Sachin was one of the greatest ambassadors of cricket, right? And then you have a fan following there. So people, it is because of these people that general public started following cricket more, right? Now I am saying remove now cricket from the picture. If any other sport or any other cultural icon becomes this much popular, and then people see that I can also make a career in that, or a fantasy game out of that, or whatever, and invest my time there, is that also possible? I mean, I think it's fairly possible.
Absolutely possible. But I still have one more point why.
Okay.
See, I am still not saying that cricket is the reason, right? May or may not be the reason, right? Definitely, other sports have the potential to develop that kind of fan following. Even over investment of your emotional things also is possible in other sports as well. So, cricket is not doing anything unethical, neither is IPL doing anything unethical. I am now talking about the entry point. To start with cricket, what do you need? A bat and a ball, right?
Okay.
Bat, you don't need a proper bat.
Okay.
Tennis ball cost like cheap. Any student with their pocket money can afford. Bat, even if you don't buy a proper bat, you can just take a stick from somewhere, big stick, put it up, and you can start playing. Can you do that with football? You need a proper football. You need a good ground. Listen to me first.
Okay.
For basketball also, you need a ground, right? So all these things. But cricket, you don't need any ground. To some extent, I will also say badminton might be in the top 3 or top 5 at least in Indian sports, because badminton also has a less criteria for the entry point, right? You don't need a separate space. You just need a racket and a cock to play the game, right? But when you see at the other sports, like the entry barrier for those games might be high. Is the point I'm saying.
Okay. So there are two things here. What you just now said is with respect to spending time in playing cricket.
Yes.
Some of them may not actually play cricket, but they will just watch cricket. That is one kind of overconsumption, right? I don't play, but I watch a lot of cricket.
Right? For me, it's opposite actually.
Okay, so that is one way in which people are spending. The other is when you're saying when it comes to playing cricket. Now, cricket is also, if you look at proper cricket, it's actually very equipment intensive. If you play with leather, right? But if you are just looking at a gully cricket point of view, I would still say football is much lesser. because you just need a ball and you just need two bricks where you can, have a goal post or stuff like that.
But a football still costs more than a tennis ball. That's my point.
But you also have a bat and stumps and stuff like
That's
that.
what, the bat is not a problem here, because even I remember when I was a kid, I used to have just a plate of wood. From a sheet of wood, there was this piece cut in the shape of bat. That's the entry point. You cannot compare price of a football with a tennis ball, right? So my point is the entry barrier to cricket is a bit less compared to others.
Okay, so let me then ask in this way. Do you think gilli danda or playing marbles is a lesser entry point than cricket?
Again, there are other other variables in this game also, right? Now, international appeal is also one point.
Okay.
Right. See, you, me, and many people across the country are inspired to watch cricket from the winning places only. You have watched the World Cup trophy. Even I was inspired from the T20 World Cup. That was the match, and after that only I approached you to start playing, to be honest. Right.
So what I'm saying is that it is that 1983 event which has led to the rise in popularity of cricket. Before that, cricket was not at all popular.
That is true. Again, we are diverting from the point. Popularity is not the question here. Overinvestment is the question. Tell me about you. When you started playing cricket, did you have a proper bat? Because I didn't.
At least if I would compare it with football, I found it had a bigger barrier to entry.
Okay. But did you have a proper bat?
In school, I used to just play with a piece of
that's the point. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. That piece of wood that you used to play says that you didn't have that big of entry barrier.
But I could have also played any other sport. That's all. Even kabaddi or kho-kho doesn't require anything at all.
Yes, that point is also
right. And India is a multiple World Cup champion.
See, I'm not talking about you in specific. I'm talking about in general. If you think the entry barrier is still low for cricket, right? To buy a football, you maybe have to invest more money than to buy a tennis ball. Whereas bat, you can get it for free.
Right. I don't know if free is the right word, but professional.
Not a professional bat, of course. A piece of wood where you can at least get started.
Okay.
I mean, think from that angle. A while ago, I told you the current population of India and Australian population. Indian population is 1.42 billion, whereas Australian population is only 27 million. But Australian cricket team is still a world champion, right? Now, one controversial angle from my side is, see, cricket is played everywhere. Is it possible we are dominant in a sport like cricket because of our huge population? Let me complete that. When I say huge population, that means we have so many people in this country, right? There's somewhere or other, there will be some kind of conditions will be built where actual talent or through hard work or whatever will be built because of high population, but not because of strategic things. Like, we are not building skills, but we are more towards the chances or probability, because if you increase the sample size, definitely the probability of becoming successful or giving rise to more talented people also rises. Is it possible we are dominant in a sport like cricket because of our huge population, whereas in Australia the population is minuscule compared to us, but still they're dominant in cricket? Can the reason be population rather than strategic training?
Okay, so one thing is whether our people are talented enough, or is it because the population is so huge you get talented people anyway?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for putting it in simple words.
Okay. So one thing, it is obviously true, because if the population is high, there are higher number of people who will have talent, right? But it also depends on the ecosystem that is there. You might identify a raw talent, right? But if you don't nurture it, and it may not come up to a level where it is world class. So I think both are important, but yes, India is at an advantage, you can say, because of the population. I would agree to that.
If you are not paying to watch IPL, remember, you are the product. Every second of your attention has value, and IPL monetizes it. So Rana, by watching too much of IPL, what exactly do you think consumers are losing?
Well, in the first instance, they're losing a time, and because they're also
A lot of time.
yeah,
Because it's a recurring thing.
yeah, they're losing a lot of time, and obviously they're spending money in subscription or going to the venue to watch matches, so they're losing a lot
Buying
of money.
merchandise also.
Buying merchandise also, so they're losing out there.
Yes.
That is a primary effect, I would say. Apart from
What
that,
about opportunity cost? If you can use that time in something else, probably to make your life more sorted, right? So that is the cost you are giving to watch the IPL. So basically, you can use that time to do something better.
so are you saying that if I'm a businessman and I have a shop, if I open it for 2 more hours, I'll get more revenue than just instead of going home and watching IPL?
In a way, working on your skill set. If you are investing, then maybe reading about the market might give you better income. So in that way, I'm saying opportunity cost.
Okay, you can say that in a way. If the whole day I'm watching, all I'm doing is watching cricket and spending my time, it's definitely an opportunity cost. But for
Yes.
example, if the whole day I'm working and just I want to take a
See,
break,
it's not only about that 3 hour window. Think about it. Where exactly the time goes. Okay, you are watching for 3 hours in a day. That is one set of time. Second set of time also goes in discussion. You are discussing about cricket heavily with many people. Sometimes people even watch the highlights, repetitions, and watching reels. That is also time spent. Engaging in online discussion also, that is also time. I mean, that 3 hour is just part of the entire time spent with this particular kind of addiction.
Okay, so you are saying if I just read the match analysis and pre-match analysis, post-match analysis, any article.
No, I am not saying that because that won't be fun. But I'm saying in overall, see, if you are more sorted, definitely you won't spend that much time. Because I know you personally. Even I know you are a busy person and you also invest your time very carefully when you are watching IPL. But not everyone is like you. They spend a lot of time in discussing online as well as offline. Wherever they go, they will keep on talking about that, and that stuff happens around all around you. Even if you go to a tea shop, right, people will be talking the same thing.
True.
So overall, if you see the time, so money is one thing, time is also they're losing a lot, right?
Correct. So that is true for cricket. I mean, as in cricket, as in anything which you are addicted to. I mean,
But I'm not talking about addiction. I'm talking about specifically cricket and more specifically IPL. Because you see, the World Cup happens once in 4 years. T20 happens once in 2 years, right? But IPL happens every year, just like Big Boss.
So are you saying that because it's at a higher frequency, it is because of that it's going to affect you more?
See, in the market, what exactly is selling? It is attention. So every company, if they can get more, so you take all the social medias, right? What is their product? You are only their product,
Correct.
right? You are watching,
Correct.
right? Your attention is being spent. And that is what is the main cost that is associated with any of the things, right? But in specifically IPL, maybe because of the frequency is a lot more, opportunity cost is high.
Agree. So then it would be better to say that it's basically my attention that is getting, taken away by cricket, and then I would also put cricket in the same category as Instagram or Facebook or anything which is basically is going to use my time, basically taking my attention.
But this is more structured. So in Instagram, if you see, every piece of content is very detached. Every social media is like that. But when you talk about cricket, everybody is talking about that. Similar topic can be a war, right? Everybody is talking about that. So definitely there's time and energy spent in such topics are much more heavier. If I right now open X, right, I will see probably two things trending. One would be IPL, another would be US Iran war, right? So in that way, I'm saying. So I won't say side by side comparison with a social media thing. Okay, apart from that, what about emotional bandwidth? So emotional bandwidth means you spending your energy, like emotional energy, whether it's happiness or sadness, too much with these cricket teams. Rather than that, if you can use that much energy or emotion to discuss with your friends or your family about how the relationship can be better, or your spouse, right? Probably there, if you spend that much emotional energy, it will be give you much better results.
Can I look at it from a little broader view? And it has happened with me also.
Okay.
Like, if India is playing a match, they win the match, I am happy, my day goes good. And maybe if India loses, I am very cranky, and
That's exactly what I'm saying.
this is basically I am very emotionally attached to the Indian cricket team.
Yes.
This is basically identifying with something which you don't have exactly control over.
Yes.
So it can be you can identify yourself with any politician also, or with any league or whatever, any identity, and if that identity is getting hampered a bit, your day goes bad.
What I'm saying is, you are your own person.
Correct.
Why would you attach your identity to someone else? That itself is wrong, na?
But then it is not specific to cricket. You can attach your identity to anything.
No, I'm saying cricket is special because cricket has a bigger community. You are never alone, right? You have always people to talk about. Definitely, there's a fan following of each and every person, each and every individual. But when you think about IPL, right, you combine all the fans together. There's so much gossip, so much things to talk about, so much stories to share, right, on the same topic.
No,
right?
your
So
question
it is special, of course. We cannot really compare you to be attached with a like politician versus being attached with cricket.
What I'm trying to look at it as is emotional attachment towards certain things in a way that is it good. And when you were saying what IPL is doing is, if there was no IPL, let's take it like, if there was no IPL, then maybe RCB fans will not fight with CSK fans. Yes. And they will not emotionally invest so much. Yes. So it is because of this IPL they are getting a different identity altogether, and exactly. They are differentiated and they are fighting or whatever, yes. Celebrating or whatever. That is the reason is what you are trying to point out.
Yes, that is only the reason I'm talking about, because this much emotional investment is unnecessary. Now let me put it in another angle. Emotional investment versus true sportsmanship. If I compare both of them hand to hand, what would be a true sportsmanship will indicate? Okay, they played really well, right? Definitely their skills are at a higher level. This could have been done better. A proper analytical strategy, plus you enjoyed the game, match is over, you move on with your life. Okay, you are not sad. If they win, definitely you are happy because that's the team you were supporting. But you won't have a cranky day if they lose.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
If they lose, just okay, maybe their strategies were not good enough. Maybe next time they will play better. Next day you go, you do your own thing, you have your own issues to deal with, you take care of those things, right? Shouldn't that be a better approach?
I mean, that's true. I mean, a true cricket lover fan would, in a sense, then look at it from the perspective of cricket, whether the teams are playing good cricket.
Exactly.
But then you also will extend it to if there is an India versus England match. Okay. You will just appreciate the nature of cricket and may not praise India or England in a way.
See, India versus England match, then it's a different thing. I mean, in a way,
that's a classification based on country. IPL is a classification based on region.
So, if I ask a fan in India this question, who do you think will win this game? Right? There are two possible answers. This possible answer will indicate their psychology. One answer will be, say the fan is from Karnataka or Bangalore area, RCB will win. Doesn't matter if their skill is good or bad, right? They will straight away say RCB will win. I want RCB to win. The other answer will be, may the best team win.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, I may be wrong, right? But whoever says may the best team wins respects true sportsmanship. Whereas somebody who says RCB wins, I would not say that's wrong. They support their team. I mean, that's a good thing itself. But maybe the sportsmanship is little less there. But in India, if I take this question everywhere, what do you think 99% of the people will answer?
No, I understand. One you are speaking from a sports lover perspective, the other is from a fan lover perspective.
Exactly.
Apart from these two perspectives, there might be a third perspective also.
Okay.
A person might also say, I know RCB team is not as strong as the current CSK team.
Okay.
Maybe skill wise, they might not be good enough.
Okay.
But I would still cheer for them as I want them to win. That
Okay.
can also be another way, which is a mix of
Yes,
both.
that is actually true
That's a
for
mix
me.
of
Yes,
both.
because I also remember just after the World Cup, I think IPL started. I started cheering for RCB because I felt like somewhere they're lagging behind, and if I cheer, they may really show it to the world. Okay, they can win, and that also happened, right? So yeah, I mean this third perspective also exists. I also chose to stick with RCB because of this perspective that you are choosing, not either because of fan or because of sportsmanship, but you just want to be cheering for or rooting for one particular team.
It's basically you are choosing between a logical overlook and the emotional overlook. It's basically that's
Absolutely. But my point ultimately boils down to that only. That 99% of fans, since they will answer that emotional angle only, that shows that we are more emotionally invested in a game like IPL, right?
True, but I mean that is how people identify themselves. I mean,
See, that's the wrong
yeah.
way of
I mean,
identification, right?
exactly, you are right. That is the wrong way.
You,
But I'm saying
you are the protagonist of your own life.
correct.
Why do you need for your identification to be somebody else? IPL is not just entertainment. It's the ultimate distraction from real government issues. I'm not saying IPL is wrong, but it does one thing very well. It keeps the entire country busy at the same time. And when a country is fully engaged in one thing, it naturally pays less attention to everything else. Rana, now let's discuss about the dark reality of IPL that
Okay.
politicians and government won't tell you. In my opinion, see what IPL kind of does it overshadows the entire media. What you see most of the time is about which player did what. This event happened over here. The news about IPL. I mean things like that. The real issues like healthcare, education, policy making, all these kind of get sidelined. IPL is the only thing that is everywhere on social media, on news channel. Everywhere people talk about that only, but they do not really talk about the real issues. So more often than not, IPL acts as a distraction from the real issues of the country. What do you think?
So I remember you speaking about a word called escapism initially,
Yes.
right? So that escapism was with respect to the personal issues,
individual
issues.
Yes.
So it is on a similar note. You are saying this is also an escapism from the real social issues, which
Yes.
an individual.
And in my opinion, the politicians also and the government also say, I don't have any concrete proof. This might be a conspiracy theory, but definitely, if you are in position of power, history is proof that you misuse it.
Yeah.
Right? To divert people from the real issues, they may or may not use IPL as a strategy. I'm not saying they're using it right away. What I'm saying is it may act as a benefit to them, politicians or government, to hide the issues because everyone is talking about IPL, right?
So basically, you are saying that instead of speaking about better roads or infrastructure,
Exactly.
because I am more invested in sports, I just forget that those problems also exist.
Yes.
Which is true. But I am again not sure whether how government is directly involved. Maybe involved. That is true. But can we directly pinpoint it?
Isn't it right that in BCCI, some higher positions are also taken up by politicians?
True. They are. A lot of cricket associations have politicians' sons or whatever relatives as their, as the chairperson. Himachal Pradesh Cricket Association. I think Anurag Thakur was the president, right?
Okay.
So he's a politician. He's a BJP politician, right? So So like that, even Jay Shah is now he's the president of ICC, but previously was the president of BCCI also.
Okay.
So he is Amit Shah's son, right? So like that, there are several politicians who are there in the BCCI ecosystem. I gave examples of BJP politicians, but this might be true for any politician.
Yes, yes, it is.
How much they are framing the rules. Now, when it comes to engagement,
Yes.
now initially there were 8 teams in IPL, right? So number of matches were less, duration was less. Now, if it is their proposal to increase the number of matches to divert issues, okay, that's another thing to look at it.
In ancient Roman gladiator matches and Olympics, because people or the common people were giving more attention to these gladiator matches and Olympics, right? There have been historical incident of politicians misusing these to distract the common people from real issues. This is a historical fact. I am not saying they originated because of that, because earlier there were a lot of misinformation about that, so I read about it a little bit. But there is evidence that politicians did use these events as a distraction from real issues. I mean, history is for us to learn. In my opinion, also the role of media is important. I mean, there have been incidents that media is also controlled by politicians, right? And think about it. I mean, again, it might be a conspiracy theory, but if media is controlled by many politicians and politicians also hold position in BCCI, there is definitely a connection. Don't you think the real media, right, who actually cares about people, should report real issues rather than reporting too much of sports or IPL news?
Ideally, it should be, but if the media houses themselves are being paid by politicians, then they will definitely focus on something else. Then that is very obvious. Now, if you think of Sun TV network, right? That is the owner of Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yes, yes.
Right? They will definitely want to show their team in better light.
How, like, I can stop being manipulated by media if there is a possibility that this much chaos is going on, right? How do I at an individual level be safe from all this bad influence?
Then as an individual, you need to be very aware of what each thing is basically doing to you, and you need to have your priorities set. You cannot, if you, for example, you are not studying or you are not working on your business or whatever properly, you need to sort it out and not spend so much time.
Also, don't believe whatever news you see and focus on the real issues.
Correct.
Rather than focusing on entertainment.
Correct. Recently, I saw one reel where a person was scolding other people that you people go and watch match here. Countries roads are not proper and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, people need to be more intelligent when it comes to that. I mean, if you don't have a proper drainage system and tomorrow
do you think this video will help them be more intelligent?
It should, ideally, if people take it in the right spirit.
Fast money, fame, shortcuts. What message is actually being sent through IPL to the young audience? Is Gen Z watching IPL or being influenced by it? Now let's discuss about the impact on youth, especially Gen Zs, because ultimately the future of the country is our youngsters, right? It's very important to assess what kind of impact are they getting.
So again, I'll speak of two perspectives here. One is a Gen Z who wants to be a cricketer, is influenced by cricket and wants to be a cricketer.
Okay.
The other is a Gen Z who likes watching cricket.
Okay. One is a very minuscule percentage of the population.
Yeah, the
one
other
is the major
part of the population.
Major part.
Now, when it comes to the minuscule part, IPL is actually
definitely good.
More opportunities. The person is getting much more pay and
absolutely
opportunities. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
But if you're speaking from watching perspective, how much does it help you? I would say no, because then it becomes like an addiction.
But there are different kinds of impact. For example, our youngsters nowadays are very much influenced by social media, and the influencers also are sometimes paid to present a perspective, whether good or bad.
Correct.
Right. Plus, their attention span is less, and T20 format actually fits perfect for their attention span.
Exactly. They are getting influence. Also brings a lot of importance to parenting if you
Yes.
look at it from that angle.
Huh.
So it is more on the parents, I would say, than the Gen Zs.
So the parents angle actually comes for the even younger people, because Gen Zs are now, I think, sometimes on their own.
Yeah, current Gen Zs are on their own. Yeah.
For people even young than Gen Alpha, for them, yes, parental control is needed. I think in a way, as we move forward in for the next years, right, that middle class worshipping mindset is also going down. Maybe in next 50 to 60 years, there will be a substantial change in this kind of over investment that we are seeing right now. It will reduce over investment in emotional sense in cricket, especially IPL. IPL doesn't just entertain youth, it quietly shapes how they think about success, money, and life. One more important point is they're seeing so many young people earning a lot of money really fast, right? It kind of creates a false perception. You can earn fast fame, fast money, and everything. But the real thing is they don't see the hard work that kid has put to come till this level. And IPL is the only platform where youngsters like this gets this much money and fame. Perception in the market is what? Fast money, fast fame. So in a way, it's a wrong perspective that is being built for our youngsters. They are deviating from the real thing, which is hard work, right? Okay. And focusing only on this fact that they can earn fast and get fame fast.
So are you saying that if I see IPL and I see young people earning so much money, I will be also tempted to go in that direction and later may not be very successful and then regret that I would have rather focused done something else and focused on something else in my career rather than doing this?
Yes, this is what, and this originates from that perception that is being seen on social media.
And you see JEE toppers, right?
Yes.
You know, the percentages are always skewed against you. Yeah? Even
Yes.
UPSC, how you should see how the UPSC coaching industry works,
true.
right? The success rate is pretty low, but that one success is enough to change your life, right?
Yes.
So people don't see the failures. They don't understand statistics so
Yes,
well,
yes.
right? They don't see that if you are just a normal average human being and do a job, you will at least get 30,000, 40,000 a month salary, right? But if you want to be successful in entertainment industry or in sports, you really need to be good. Imagine 1.4 billion people and top 11 or whatever who is representing the country, the people who are representing, how good you need to be.
Yes.
Right. So the success, percentage is very low.
My point is more towards it should not undermine hard work, right? You should not just go with the news that one person who tops UPSC or gets selected into the Indian cricket team, right? Imagine how much hard work they have put, right? So just don't see the success, see the things that they have done to get there.
That is very much true. I mean, getting into an Indian cricket team or somebody who is very successful in the entertainment industry, it takes a lot of hard work. People may not show it. Sometimes they show the journey. Even if you look at Virat Kohli, right? I was listening to one interview of his. He said that for 3 years I will eat the same dish every day, something like that. He said.
Yes.
I said, as normal human beings, how easily can we do that? That's very difficult.
Very difficult.
Right, so obviously they need to have a lot of discipline, going to gym every day and working out and playing in the hot sun, whatever. It's difficult, but we feel that this fellow is just playing for 3-4 hours, earning 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees per match.
So yeah, that perception should not be built.
Yeah, right? That's true. Unless people go into the specifics, they can't understand how difficult it is.
At any point of time, I think discipline beats motivation.
Yeah, that's true. That's there. Discipline is very important. Yeah.
I asked a few youngsters around the block what they think about IPL.
IPL is a great sport. India is very interested in IPL and we all love watching cricket and it's a great game. According to me, IPL deserves all the recognition it's getting, but I play football and I feel like football too should get the same recognition as IPL. It depends on the person. If the person is very addicted to it, we can't blame anything on IPL. IPL is a sport and it depends on the person. If the person is willing to go crazy over it, it's not, if he's watching it like a normal person, it's fine.
I never watched before, but if I friends watching, I'll watch with them. If it's going like a fun way, it's fine.
Okay.
Don't hurt with them.
Got
Like
it.
that, I'm telling. Betting or something anyhow, but it's a sports.
Okay.
We
Take
have
it
to-
as a sport, you mean?
Yeah. that's-
Uses the sports thing for like other,
Okay.
categories.
Nice.
Like for example, badminton doesn't have so much popularity than cricket,
Mhm.
football, and many other sports. But the people who are qualified for IPL, it's really good for them. There are many who are inspired by that, so that they make it makes them to play cricket more. And
It depends. It's good also, it's bad also. But most of the India supports IPL, and most of the sports don't get opportunity as I play football.
Okay.
But IPL is also good as it increases our Indian GDP, and many people house works from IPL.
Okay.
So it comes 50-50 for me.
IPL is either the best thing that has happened to Indian cricket or the biggest distraction we ever created. To decide this, let's look at IPL good versus bad side by side. Let's now do a quick rapid fire for IPL good and bad.
At the end of the day, you come home after work and spend some time to relax and you watch a cricket match. But at the same time, if you're watching it for the whole day and spending a lot of time, you can do something productive in that time.
IPL promotes unity in diversity. Doesn't matter where you are from, what your background is. If you are supporting a particular team, all of you are together cheering for the team. But it pits different teams against each other, whether in offline discussions or in online battles. Also, IPL creates misaligned beliefs on location. Teams like RCB doesn't actually belong to Bangalore or the state of Karnataka.
So IPL also gives opportunities to young, talented individuals to showcase their talent in the international circuit. But at the same time, because of social media, the focus shifts from sportsmanship to showmanship.
IPL inspires many people to improve themselves, but it also promotes fan culture and hero worship, which sometimes leads to cases like stampedes.
So IPL supports the economy by creating a business ecosystem, but at the same time, it also pushes people to spend unnecessary money on merchandise and tickets and stuff like that, rather than spending all important aspects like food and health.
IPL is a very good source of entertainment, but it distracts people from the real issues like education, healthcare, and politics.
IPL promotes healthy sports and good rivalry, but at the same time, it also encourages gambling habits.
IPL creates many jobs like analysts, technical staff, on ground jobs, commentators. But at the same time, these type of jobs are temporary and not long lasting because it lasts only for a season. So in terms of long term economic growth, it might not be sufficient.
Large scale broadcasting promotes safe and secure home viewership, but at the same time, IPL also has a detrimental environmental impact, which is related to buying unnecessary merchandise, or maybe disposing stuff, or maybe the amount of water or resources spent in preparing a cricket stadium.
Nice, good point, good point. As a country, we are very skilled at one particular game, which is cricket, and IPL especially promotes that. But many of the other sports are being ignored because of this.
So IPL has also the potential to create a lasting impact on the general public through its ads. If it is showing something which is meant for general awareness of the public or promoting products which are good, then it's a positive impact. But at the same time, if it is showing easy money apps or sugary drinks and stuff like that, then it is detrimental.
Therefore, IPL cannot be exactly categorized as good or bad, but as a powerful weapon. However you use this weapon matters the most. IPL is not just cricket. It is a well executed business model where you are the one who is paying with your money and your attention. So going ahead, I would suggest you to think logically and keep questioning yourself. Is this the best I can do with my time and money? In my opinion, whether you get manipulated or not, whether you get inspired or not, whether you watch IPL or not, ultimately boils down to one question to yourself. How sorted am I in my life? If you found this video insightful, then like it and share it with someone who is over-invested in IPL. If you want me to bring you more helpful and self-improvement content in staying fit, both mentally and physically, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, do check out my other video on the dangers of fan culture on my YouTube channel. Give a shout out to my friend Rana, who was superb. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Invest it wisely because something is always competing to take it from you.
मटर पनीर अच्छा था.
1 2 3 साउंड टेस्ट.
1 2 3 मैंने ड्रिल हमें देखा.
उल्टा उल्टा हो रहा है इसका.
ये होगा भाई.
मैं रिकॉर्ड कर रहा था ना. यस आई वाज थिंकिंग शूट्स. भूख लग रही है अभी.
थैंक यू